Floating fortresses more than you think. Did you know there are over 20 aircraft carriers roaming the oceans right now? That's like having a whole city complete with fighter jets floating around the globe. Most of these behemoths belong to just a handful of countries, and they're not afraid to show off their power. It's a nautical game of top trumps, and these carriers are the ultimate prize carriers. These aren't just big boats. They're symbols of military muscle, technological prowess, and global reach. Think of them as the ultimate mobile air bases, ready to project power anywhere in the world. From disaster relief to full-blown conflict, aircraft carriers are the ultimate multi-tools of the military world. But are they still relevant in today's world? With hypersonic missiles and cyber warfare on the rise, some say these floating fortresses are becoming obsolete. Are they dinosaurs soon to be extinct? Stick around and find out. An aircraft carrier isn't just a big boat, it's a statement. It says we're here, we're powerful, and we can back it up. These ships are packed with cutting-edge technology, from powerful radar systems to state-of-the-art communication networks. They're like floating cities, complete with living quarters, hospitals, and even gyms for their massive crews. But the real stars of the show are the aircraft. Fighter jets, helicopters, surveillance planes. These carriers can launch a whole air force in a matter of minutes. Need to establish air superiority? Send in the jets. Need to take out enemy targets on land? Helicopters are standing by. Need to gather intelligence? No problem. The surveillance planes are already in the air. And let's not forget about the escort ships. Carriers rarely travel alone. They're usually surrounded by a flotilla of destroyers, submarines, and supply ships. It's like a pack of wolves, with the carrier as the alpha predator. Together they form a formidable force to be reckoned with. But it's not all smooth sailing for these maritime giants. The world is changing, and with it, the face of warfare. New threats are emerging, putting the future of aircraft carriers in question. One word: hypersonic missiles. These bad boys are so fast they can potentially outrun even the most sophisticated defense systems. And if one of these missiles were to hit a carrier, let's just say it wouldn't be pretty. Then there's the rise of cyber warfare. Remember all that fancy technology on board? Well, it's all vulnerable to hacking. Imagine a scenario where a carrier's systems are compromised, its weapons disabled, its communications jammed, its crew left blind and deaf. It's a chilling thought and a very real threat in today's digital age. And let's not forget the good old-fashioned submarine. These underwater predators are becoming increasingly quiet and deadly, posing a significant risk to even the most heavily guarded carrier strike group. It's a classic game of cat and mouse played out on a global scale. Section 4. From wood to nuclear, a carrier evolution. The aircraft carrier, a marvel of engineering, a symbol of power, a testament to human ingenuity. These colossal ships are floating air bases capable of projecting power across the globe. But these floating fortresses didn't just appear overnight. They are the result of decades of innovation, trial and error, and relentless pursuit of excellence. Their story is one of constant evolution, driven by technological advancements and the ever-changing demands of warfare. Each generation of carriers has built upon the lessons learned from its predecessors. It all began in the early 20th century with humble beginnings. The first aircraft carriers were little more than modified cruisers, their decks hastily adapted to launch and recover aircraft. Picture a converted cruiser, its deck crudely modified to accommodate a handful of flimsy biplanes. These early attempts were rudimentary, but they laid the groundwork for future innovations. Those were the pioneers, the HMS Furious of the world, testing the waters of this radical new concept of naval aviation. They faced numerous challenges, from limited space to the difficulty of landing on a moving ship. Fast forward a few decades and we're talking massive warships, bristling with anti-aircraft guns, launching waves of propeller-driven fighters and bombers. These carriers became the backbone of naval operations during World War II. The Second World War saw carriers take center stage, from the Coral Sea to Midway, proving their worth in the crucible of combat. Their ability to launch and recover aircraft gave them a strategic advantage that was unmatched. The USS Enterprise, a name synonymous with naval prowess, earned its legendary status during these tumultuous years. It became a symbol of American naval strength and resilience. And then came the jet age, revolutionizing naval aviation. The introduction of jet aircraft required carriers to adapt once again, leading to significant changes in their design and operation. Carriers grew even larger, their decks redesigned to handle the increased weight and speed of jet aircraft. These new carriers were more powerful and capable than ever before. The angled flight deck, a stroke of engineering genius, allowed for simultaneous launch and recovery of aircraft, dramatically increasing operational efficiency. This innovation marked a significant leap forward in carrier design, setting the stage for the modern supercarriers we see today. Section 5, Island Fortress Carriers in the insert recent conflict, Showdown. Remember that recent conflict in the insert geographical region? It was a time when the world held its breath, watching the unfolding drama with a mix of fear and fascination. Tensions were high, alliances were tested, and the world watched with bated breath. The stakes were enormous, and every move was scrutinized by the global community. And you know who was right there in the thick of it? You guessed it, aircraft carriers. These behemoths of the sea were at the forefront, ready to respond at a moment's notice. They were the tip of the spear, projecting power and providing a constant military presence. Their very existence was a deterrent, a reminder of the might they could unleash. Fighter jets roared off the decks, carrying out reconnaissance missions, gathering crucial intelligence that could turn the tide of battle, providing air support to troops on the ground, ensuring they had the cover they needed to advance and hold their positions, and engaging in tense dogfights with enemy aircraft. These aerial battles were intense, with pilots pushing their machines to the limit. It was a high-stakes game of chess, with carriers as the queens, maneuvering for position, controlling the board. Every move was calculated, every decision critical. The conflict highlighted the importance of carriers in a rapidly changing world. They were not just symbols of power, but essential tools in modern warfare. While drones and cyber warfare grabbed the headlines, showcasing the future of combat, it was the carriers that provided the backbone of the military operation, the reliable muscle flexing in the background. Their presence was a constant reassurance, but it also exposed their vulnerabilities. The wear and tear of constant operations took its toll, and maintenance became a critical task. The threat of hypersonic missiles was ever present, a new challenge that required innovative defenses and constant vigilance, forcing carriers to operate more cautiously, to rethink their strategies and adapt to the new threats, to rely more heavily on their escorts for protection. These support ships became even more vital, forming a protective shield around the carriers. The game had changed. The stakes were higher than ever. The carriers, once seen as invincible, now had to navigate a more complex and dangerous battlefield. Section 6. Top dogs of the ocean, still relevant today. So, are aircraft carriers still relevant in this brave new world of hypersonic missiles and cyber warfare? This is a question that has been increasingly asked as technology continues to advance at a rapid pace. It's a question that's hotly debated in military circles, and there's no easy answer. Experts and strategists often find themselves on opposite sides of the argument. On the one hand, they're still the most potent symbols of military might, capable of projecting power across the globe. Their sheer size and presence can be a game changer in any conflict. They provide a mobile airbase that's unmatched in its flexibility and firepower. This allows for rapid deployment and a sustained military presence in critical regions. And let's not forget the psychological impact. The sight of a carrier strike group on the horizon is enough to give any adversary pause. It serves as a powerful deterrent. But on the other hand, there's no denying the challenges they face. Modern threats are evolving, and carriers must adapt to stay relevant. Hypersonic missiles, cyber attacks, and increasingly sophisticated submarines pose very real threats. These technologies can potentially neutralize the advantages that carriers have long enjoyed. Carriers are expensive to build and maintain, and their loss would be a significant blow, both militarily and politically. The financial and strategic stakes are incredibly high. The future likely holds a mix of old and new. Traditional carriers will need to integrate cutting-edge technology to remain effective. Carriers will continue to play a vital role, but they'll need to adapt to survive. This means embracing new technologies and strategies. We're talking advanced defense systems, stealth technologies, and maybe even unmanned aircraft. These innovations could redefine naval warfare. The game is changing, and the carriers that adapt fastest will be the ones that rule the waves in the 21st century. The future of naval dominance depends on innovation and adaptability. Section 7. What do you think? Join the carrier conversation. So, there you have it. The aircraft carrier. A floating fortress, a symbol of power and a constant source of debate. What do you think? Are these maritime giants still relevant in today's world, or are they dinosaurs heading for extinction? Head over to the comments section and let us know your thoughts. Should we continue to invest in these behemoths, or is it time to focus on newer, more agile technologies? The future of naval warfare is being written right now, and your opinion matters. Join the conversation. And hey, while you're at it, why not check out these awesome links to learn more about the fascinating world of aircraft carriers? Get informed, share your views, and let's explore the future of these mighty ships together as a community.